Good morning, internet. So I was originally gonna make this video about my old school, as I talked about in the last video, but as I was organizing my bullet points for that video, I quickly came to a realization. While a lot of those stories are probably fun to talk about, a lot of them were just designed to get people angry. At least they were in my head. I was essentially making a video just to complain about stuff that happened like a year ago. Yeah, a lot of bad stuff happened at that school, and I'm really glad to be out of there. But in the words of Patricia Noah, don't cry about your past. Life is full of pain. Let the pain sharpen you, but don't hold on to it. Don't be bitter. That being said, I actually do want to talk about these two awful teachers. Not to talk about the stuff they did, but actually to talk about some stuff they didn't do, rather counterintuitively. Hi, Ash from the future here. I know I said that I'm going to talk about these two teachers, but it really ended up being about one of them teachers, the default Karen one, so let's just pretend I just said that, okay? Now, let me get this straight before I begin, because I know a lot of people who watch these videos used to go to that school, so just to be clear, I don't think they're good teachers. I don't even think they're good people. They didn't think things through. They never thought about other people. If they didn't agree with their opinions, like they were less human. They were really narrow-minded and saw all criticism as a personal attack. Okay, before I lose the ability to even 2 videos in a row, I need to note that on the contrary to the beliefs of me and my friends, these two teachers were not exactly the arbiters of Satan. Now, you—
Miss Kim!
Yes, me from the past.
I mean, Miss—
Crazy religious woman,
And Miss—
default Karen.
We're pretty much the worst teachers to have ever existed. I mean, I don't think there's a worse way to spend 5th grade.
Oh, me from the past, you have clearly not grasped that the worst way to spend 5th grade is to not be able to spend 5th grade, or to spend 5th grade starving, or being overworked in a Chinese slave-run factory. But
No! I cannot deal with you right now! Shut up! Shut up!
is the coast clear? Is she gone? Am I free? Okay, I just came back from tying the video representation of my 11-year-old self in a cheese cave in Missouri so nobody can find her. Sorry, Missouriites, but then again, do you exist? Like, do people make the conscious decision to move to Missouri? Okay, tangent aside, let me tell you a little story involving these two teachers, or a story that I thought involved these two teachers. I was outlining the script for the video on Monday when I remembered something that my friend, let's just call him Joe, had told me a while ago. Joe told me that both of these teachers have gone on, and I quote, impassioned pro-Trump rants. Now, before we get into this whole thing, whatever your opinion on politics, I do not care. Conservatives are not demons. They have some good ideas. Liberals aren't demons. They have some good ideas. This country cannot function if we cannot work together. But this video isn't about politics. Just don't start a flame war in the comments, please. That being said, Joe and I both do lean liberal, as does most of Hawaii, which is the state that we live in case you didn't know. It sucks, help me. I'm a 13-year-old trapped in a giant retirement home. My cries for help aside, for kids in Hawaii, Donald Trump is not only the butt end of so many terrible, unfunny, horrible jokes, but he's like a comic book villain, at least in most kids' heads. Interestingly enough, with the exception of a lot of kids at that old school I was gonna make this video about. Anyway, I remember Joe telling me about how both of them went on very passionate rants, and how building the wall is only $5 out of every American's pocket, and how Trump is gonna save us from the North Korean missiles. I wanted to ask him for details for the video. See, Joe's a year younger than me, so we were in separate classes. I didn't actually see or hear this whole incident take place. I asked in a group chat where our friend, where our friend Eli told us that she didn't really remember the whole incident. She continued to make a really good point. Quote, I don't remember her talking about Trump. All I remember is you and her both getting all butthurt about each other's religious views. All the conservatives I know believe
Default Karen
is liberal, and all the leftist people I know think she's conservative. I think it's that if you hate somebody, it's impossible to believe that they're on your side. Everybody is blinded by their political opinion, and people you don't like are automatically assumed to have nothing in common with you. At that exact moment, I was so grateful for Eli's existence. I had not been thinking of that teacher as a real human. I used the fact that I didn't like some of the stuff that she did, and I antagonized her by taking all of my best traits and projecting the opposite of those onto her. Plato and Aristotle came up with the concept of cardinal virtues, and I always thought that mine were being relaxed but rational and intellectual. So I built up the image of the teacher in my head as the exact opposite. Whenever she tried to promote a positive atmosphere, although honestly, let's face it, I mean, like, teachers always fail at that. I was always saying that she was being too hyper and perky and needed to chill out. Whenever she praised students that were having a hard time when they finished a little task or answered a very easy question, and she shut down smartasses like myself, I would always say that she was emotionally driven and playing favorites. Whenever she made a slight misconception, even though she was probably just simplifying because we were literal 5th graders.
I mean, it's not hard for people my age to understand such easy concepts like plasma and the fact that the British invented the customary system. Shut up, me from the past! Do I have to bury you in the Alaskan wilderness this time?
I'm sorry, me from the past is really pedantic and condescending. She's really not that smart, and I mean, her reasoning skills are just... Do you get it now? Do you get it? We project the worst qualities we don't have onto our enemies so that we can dehumanize them. Most of the time, a lot of the criticisms we make about people aren't completely fictional, but we overblow them to a massive degree. We want the problems in this world to not be us. We want outsiders to be the problem. But in the words of John Green,
every society says its outsiders are the problem, but the outsiders are not the problem. The urge to create outsiders is the problem.
Exactly. The thing is, these teachers did do some good things. While they didn't spend a lot of time teaching me or Joe or Eli, they did spend a lot of time helping the autistic and dyslexic kids in our class. Sure, they made some dumb assumptions and got into arguments with 5th graders about religion and the fact that left-handed people don't exist, but my point is, they may not have been the smartest, but they did try. And Eli was trying to make this point, but Joe just brushed it off with an "I don't care" and "I still hate them." The memory was so obviously fake. He convinced himself it was real because he wanted it to be real. I wanted it to be real too. And so I was like, oh, maybe they could have said that. I mean, like, I have like maybe a very faint memory. I didn't, but I created it because I wanted it to be real. She told my entire class to spend half a year preparing for a presentation about climate change. I don't think that's very conservative if you ask me. I wanted
Default Karen.
to fail, even if I would learn nothing that year. I thought seeing her fail would make me happy, but in Hank Green's words,
watching bad people is sad when they're successful and when they're failing. It doesn't matter what's happening, it's always just sad.
watching bad people is sad, absolutely. But if their success is congruent with our success, in the words of H3H3,
wanting to do a bad job is like being on an airplane with a bunch of people you dislike and hoping the pilot does a bad job so it crashes and kills everyone on board.
I don't want to be that person that says,
And then our Lord PewDiePie said, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you."
yes, I know that's the thing Confucius said, shut up SJWs.
Why? Why should I follow along with such gross mythological inaccuracy? I mean, the only thing worse would be actually believing. We get it, me from the past. You're an atheist. Can you just let me get to the goddamn conclusion already? Shut up.
Okay, so here's the point. We like to think that our enemies are inhumane monsters, but they're a real person. But a lot of the time, the real person, not the projection of our opposites, but the real human being is not the problem. The concept of the them is the real problem. Everything that we are not is the real enemy. But we have to understand how to build sustainable groups, sustainable feelings of us without creating an evil them. This is PDB Ash. Not signing off, Ash from the future here to let you know a few things. First of all, I wrote a poem on Friday night, published it under a Creative Commons license. Link is in my pants. Number 2, go check out Pecan Art. Her Instagram will also be in the description. Number 3, so my friend Joe actually started a YouTube channel called The Idea Man, spelled with a 1, a 3, and a 4. So go check him out too. Okay, for real this time, this is PDB Ash, signing off.